Well, there's several factors. One is that many times weeds have infiltrated into those areas, whether that's come in on some hay that they brought into the farm or whatever the case may be, and those pastures are really stressed after having gone through such a severe drought as what we've had. And oftentimes those pastures have been grazed down very tight, and as a result they're weakened, they're not as competitive, and oftentimes those weeds will just get ahead of them and get a jump up above them. So really need to concern themselves about watching for weeds, making sure they don't get out of hand, and providing fertility as necessary to kind of stimulate that pasture to regenerate and regrow. Well, in a rotational sequence, the effect of drought is much more mitigated because it's never as severe over the whole farm. One of the key things that we start with our producers when we are getting into a drought is to identify sacrifice areas and just focus their grazing pressure on that as best they can. But even, if those that are instituting some sort of rotational stocking, rotational grazing system, that really will help mitigate those effects because it's rejuvenating that root system whenever they're giving it a long rest period. So that's a pretty critical part of one of the great reasons for looking at rotational grazing. Well, just do a great job of following soil test recommendations because there's a real need to get those plants back and growing again in as much of a rejuvenation as you can in those pastures to reestablish and de-stress from the severe stress of the drought.